Yes, okay. Hi, well, lovely to meet all my fellow panelists here, common marketeers. The title of today's panel is How to Run Successful Advertising for Crypto and Blockchain Projects. And I think the first thing that we want to make clear is that a crypto project and a blockchain project are very different. With a crypto project, often when we're fundraising and the objective of the marketing strategy is to raise money, then of course the activity that we are doing is going to be very different to just raising awareness of the benefits of blockchain. So what we'll do is we'll go one by one and just introduce ourselves first, and then we're going to really talk first about the objectives of what we do in our marketing careers. So I'm Clara. I run DisPRuptive, a PR agency based from London, but an international agency, and we combine public relations and investor relations together. So should we go from...
Oh, hi again. I'm Slava, and I represent CoinTraffic. I'm the Chief Product Officer there. And what CoinTraffic does, it basically links advertisers and publishers and allows crypto projects to advertise within our network.
Hi, my name is Liina. I'm currently working with a recruitment app called Meet Frank. Many of our clients are in the blockchain field, but prior to this, I've been sort of working with projects in the crypto field for about the last 6 years or so.
Hello, my name is Alex. So we are in the crypto investment community in Telegram, named Coins Telegram, and we are also a blockchain and coins news websites in 2 languages, in Russian and English.
Yeah. I am ChristyAna Taveras, ACT Ventures. We're a venture building consulting group, and I personally work mostly in the Asia region.
Hi, my name is Stranberg. I'm the VP of Marketing of Paxful, and Paxful is one of the leading peer-to-peer Bitcoin marketplaces in the world. Our goal is to build a fair and secure and simple platform for buying and selling Bitcoin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's start with that first topic, the conversation about the purpose of why we do marketing. Obviously, the title, as we know, of this particular session is related to advertising. I think what we've got to do as a panel is we've got to break it down into those 3 key areas, which we refer to as owned, earned, and bought media, because they all have very, very different objectives. So just for the benefit of everyone in the crowd, I'm sure you know, but earned media is when you are earning endorsement and recommendation from third parties that matter, be it industry analysts or journalists or key influencers, and it is known to be the most successful form of marketing. The second is paid or bought media, which is when we're obviously paying for banner ads or for Google AdWords or boost campaigns on social media outlets, etc., to give it that extra boost. And then the third is owned media. So everything starts with owned media. You have to have your own website, your own social media handles, your own e-newsletters, etc., telling the right story, and obviously focusing on the why, which is obviously what you were just talking about then, the why a company exists, not so much what it does and how it does it. So with that in context, the owned, the earned, and the bought, let's start by talking a little bit about what the objectives are in terms of some of the campaigns that you guys have been working on, and how you are using those 3 different areas of media to attract attention and to get the objectives that you wish to.
Yeah, I can start with the last one. So SEO, how many know what SEO means? Search engine optimization. I come from a really SEO background, which means that our strategy has been basically focusing on these SEO keywords, long tail keywords, money keywords, and so forth. And basically, back in the days in 2016, there were no competition almost on these SEO keywords. So what we started to build was a really foundation of our content strategy. And I see a huge lack at the moment with a lot of ICOs, a lot of also crypto exchanges. They lack of SEO. But if you look at conversions happen the most on organic traffic. It's the highest conversion rate there. So I think people should focus more on SEO. On paid media, it's still quite random, what I've seen. For example, with Google Ads, we spent on 2016, 2017 more than 6 figures a month. And we didn't get it to convert. And we were wondering, like, what was going on? But back then, it was a totally different mindset. And you had to optimize a lot. So I think going with the SEO strategy is really, really important, especially in the long term. But then if you want to, for example, do short-term strategy, go for the paid media, like coin traffic.
But I think the whole purpose is that the three have to be working together. There's a place for
yes,
owned
correct,
and bought media,
correct. So, yeah, with influencers, we haven't worked with that many influencers yet. We're still going to that direction. And I think it's still in the process of getting public influencers to this crypto game more, and to that leverage even more this outreach game, so to say. I could be wrong, but this is how we see it.
Okay, so from an SEO perspective, have you seen that there are increases in the number of people just doing an organic searching?
Yes, correct. And also the keyword difficulty has risen a lot. 2016, you could easily rank with just a couple of links. But at the moment, you just need to build and build and build. And unfortunately, in 2016, you didn't have to pay for links. But we live in an age where SEO is the king. So you have to actually pay for links.
But that's where the power of PR comes in. Because
True,
you're getting
true. But that's more brand awareness also.
But it can also work from an SEO perspective.
Well, yes.
If you get a good article in the BBC or Forbes or some FT.com with a high
True,
domain
but
authority.
it's more about building your DR, domain rating, which means that your domain gets more powerful. But if you want to target actual keywords, like PR is not the way. You just have to do a lot of outreach to blogs and so forth. PR is great for brand building. We use 4 different PR companies. We have one in US, 2 in Africa, 1 in South Asia, and it's been really great. It gets us to panels. It's a lot about building the CEOs, for example. We have Ray, who is an excellent talker, and we've been leveraging him quite a lot. And we have also Arthur, who is the co-founder, also a great speaker. So I think like combining these all into one big perspective in marketing campaign is really crucial. But they have all their different use cases.
Yes, well, I'm gonna return the ball to Jan, and basically, you've mentioned that paid media is like a very short-term strategy. I beg to differ for a few reasons. So, as you mentioned yourself, people started searching more for different keywords. That means that before they didn't know about your product or service, or that there is even, let's say, cryptocurrency a few years ago. So the purpose of paid media is to generate awareness mostly, if we're talking about banner ads, which then people see something, they say, okay, there's this new product, I want to learn more. Then they can, let's say, search for the product, right? Which drives you brand search traffic, or search this, some like similar keywords or something like that. And all of that should be used in conjunction. Secondly, I love the SEO strategy. I've been doing quite a bit of SEO before. But there's a massive threat, being Google. So I personally did a bit of, let's say, shooting in the leg to the SEO community by promoting AMP, Accelerated Mobile Pages. So that's also very important. We have to use technology. So your website has to load really quickly, right? And then the content has to be served instantly anywhere from the world. And Google helps with that, providing a special technology called the AMP. The only downside is that it serves the content from its own domain. So nobody actually, so they search for something, say peer-to-peer lending, what's that? Or like blockchain news, something like that. They get an AMP page. That means that they look at the results, and on this results page, they already get the answer and they leave. So they actually never engage with your brand. And the trend is that about 30 to 40% of mobile traffic that's generated for search never gets a click anymore. So that is a very big threat at the moment. On all other points, I completely agree. SEO is king in some points, but I think it's also very important to educate the community, as was very nicely discussed in the previous presentation. So that's how we do it. We generate content, right? We generate links. And for this, all the crypto community and some products, they benefit, right? So we have to, the education, that is also important. And it doesn't matter if it's paid or free, because SEO is not free as well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me join the discussion. So I totally agree with Jan and Slava. It's absolutely clear that these things are so important, but you have to build the links, you have to advertise, you have to run your social media, to post everywhere, to create your content. But there are so many projects which used to run these things and they did not succeed. And the problem is that you have to be creative. I have a philosophical background, and I will definitely say, like Plato says, so the most important thing is ideas, not the things. So things are behind the ideas. That's why you have to have, a cool idea, and then your CEO or anything like this will help you. But if you have no idea, nothing will help you. And speaking about SEO optimization, I would say that YouTube is a great thing actually, because it's indexed so good in Google, and as soon as you make video and you can write text, so on. So YouTube promotes your video itself, and YouTube helps you to promote, and it is a great platform. Facebook does not help you, Twitter does not help you, LinkedIn, but YouTube helps you. It advertises you for free. If you have some interesting things, just make a video and browse it there, and it can definitely help you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the SEO stuff, but I would say that nowadays content is king over SEO. So I've had a similar experience. In 2015, I worked with a cryptocurrency exchange, HitBTC. Probably heard of them. And back then they were really small. They were like a scruffy little startup. And we thought, okay, what can we do? They couldn't spend any money on advertising because they couldn't pay out in fiat, and they wanted to fix that first. I said, okay, let's try and rank for keywords. And because there was no competition, within 6 months, I created a content strategy, and the content didn't actually have to even be good, which is stupid. So whatever I wrote, I just wrote sort of one skyscraper article and then article supporting it, and in 6 months we managed to rank first with every single new cryptocurrency that came out. So we 10x'd the volume in 6 months with no paid advertising. But nowadays things are very different. So there's a lot of competition. So just writing over and over about the same topic, you're going to have to think about other things, link building and so on, how to stand out. So now my approach is to provide value over just thinking of keywords. Of course, you can write the keywords into the article, but if you're providing readers value, they will share it organically. Then, of course, you can boost these articles as well on social media or wherever you like. And the coolest thing is when press picks it up. So there you have like a whole circle. And we've been doing this very successfully with Meet Frank. Okay, Meet Frank is not in the blockchain industry, but the same strategy would still work. So in just 2 months of creating content of what our users would like to know about, our app install cost has gone down by half. And we've been picked up by media in Finland and Estonia. And that also, as you mentioned, when there's paid media, the organic search goes up, and it goes up dramatically, like 5x.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important, definitely thinking creatively. I also think kind of taking advantage of every single, like piecing it out, kind of like what she was saying. Okay, if I'm gonna do a podcast, I'm gonna do a podcast, but I'm gonna videotape the podcast and be taking pictures of the podcast, right? So I can post the podcast audio and screenshots and video of it, right? So whatever content you make, try to take high advantage of every single piece, and you do your ads, you do your LinkedIn, right? And it might be simple, but I mean, like how you said your founders are good speakers, right? So there are some projects I didn't really care for. I just kept seeing them on LinkedIn over and over and over. I'm like, okay, who are they? You know, so they were, I think another thing is being disciplined, right? Okay, they were posting every place they went, hashtag thank you and hello everyone, Tere Estonia, you know? So they were doing that over and over and over to a point where I paid attention, right? So I think that's something to consider. I also think that, adding value is one thing I just think it's really important. I think in other industries, especially the kind of slightly scammy consulting gurus on Instagram. Do you want to live in Bali and be an influencer on it? Like, you know, what they really do, they give you a taste, right? They put all these 90-second videos, and if you want to learn more, you know, so I think that's something we do less of in this industry, but I would say, okay, let's think about what the consumer that we're looking for, what could add value to them, and how can we give them a taste of it where they're going to actually click and seek more.
Yeah. And I guess all of these tactics that, you know, we're discussing, whether it be video, you know, YouTube, SEO, whatever, it all comes down to the strategy. So I think we should just talk a bit now, if a new client or a new project or a new company that you were representing, whether externally or through an agency, I think we've got to talk about what they should be considering when they are putting a brief together. So from our perspective, it always starts with, who do you want to reach? What do you want them to know?
Yeah.
And what do you want them to do? And so with those three questions, you can then work out what are the best tactics to use and obviously ensure that they are then being measured and tracked effectively. You know, some companies, their number one objective is going to be hitting the hard cap. They've got a, you know, definitive time. They're doing an STO or an ICO or an IEO, whatever it is, and they have that is their absolute number one objective. And then it's about thinking about, well, who do we want to reach? Are we going for institutional investors? Are we going for retail investors? Or what percentage of each are we going for? And what are the tactics that are going to work best from a marketing perspective for each? But then obviously some companies, sorry, just one more second, I've got the mic.
Sure, yeah.
But other companies, you know, it's all about, you know, about user adoption or getting more downloads, etc. So let's talk a bit now about what people should consider when they are putting together a brief for a marketing strategy.
Yeah, I have an idea. So my advice to any project which starts, you know, their crowdfunding campaigns, they run IO or, you know, STO. You don't have to build product before you have it. I mean, your crowdfunding stage. You have to check at first what is the awareness of what is the possible awareness of your project. So you have to try to advertise yourself first, and if you see that the audience reacts, that they're interested, then you can try to run crowdfunding. So you have to run PR and marketing at first and test yourself, and then you can spend your money on building the product or anything else. So PR is, you know, it's the first thing, and your product is the second thing. It is what I think.
Any other thoughts?
Okay, I mean, not building your product first. I mean, if it's research stage, but come on, that's the whole reason we had a problem with all the ICOs, right? I mean, come on, build a product, make something that's useful to humans. I mean, that's just like my personal request to the world. But I do think it's important to have that field research, right, and to test other products, etc. But I do strongly feel that there should be a product. I do think, as far as Okay, for when you're trying to do a raise. So I think, I mean, I'm definitely for research on what you're targeting, right? But I mean, a lot of companies are focused on, you know, not B2B or B2C, but B2VC, right? And I think that's a little bit skewed. But let me just give an example, just because I have an Asian perspective, is in Asia, for example, I was working with a client on rebranding and an Asian launch. So there's definitely going to be different things when you're going to be going to investors in Asia in different regions. So definitely know what makes these, what's more important in these regions. In Asia, for example, you know, branded things are very important. Okay, so Louis Vuitton, Ivy Leagues, right? Western things are at the top, right? So you have to give that a perspective of they want something that's traditional, that's well known, that's the original, right? So for this one rebrand, we had to emphasize, you know, like founded in 2014 for the scams, you know? So emphasizing what is going to make that particular, you know, area group of VCs or investors tick, right? So I think it's you shouldn't, honestly, you really should do deep research about every single, I know it's limited time, but your pitch decks should be different depending on who you're approaching, for sure.
Yeah, I kind of agree here. You have to know your customer. Also, one great point for us has been so we serve different use cases. We have remittance, we have wealth preservation. We also have different markets where we focus. Before we go into a market, we have to understand A, what's the use case there? B, how many people are actually using crypto? And C, do we have partnerships there? So we collaborate with a lot of blockchain associations at the moment. We gather them into one group. We have meetups and so forth. And we get a lot of information. Through that information, we can do a really good strategy how to go into a market. So I think actually partnerships are really important here.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing market research with PR, to be honest. I think you need to have some kind of idea first and then test it on either just, you know, get a focus group or something like that before you put all the money into PR. That should come later. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's like Jan, and you know, the basics of marketing: know who your customer is, know who you're talking to, and why. And that's something that's actually, even though I'm kind of a really early adopter of crypto and blockchain, and I love the tech and what it brings us, but when the whole ICO boom started, I traveled around in many events, and so people come up to you and say like, okay, we're going to disrupt the industry by giving you transparent, innovative, everything, 5 minutes, and then it's like, but what do you do? So does it really matter that it's decentralized? Does it matter that it's peer-to-peer? It doesn't matter. It just needs to fit the user's needs. So like you were talking earlier about your crypto mama, like she doesn't care it's decentralized. So find your audience and why they need it. The tech behind it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you send someone an email, you're not going to explain to them how the protocol works. No one cares. You want an email from here to here. So let's just stop saying decentralized and disruptive. That would be great.
Yeah, I think one of the problems that we're facing in crypto and blockchain is that we're at the forefront of innovation. I mean, that's probably a big word, but a lot of things that we are trying to do, especially the ideas, right? You cannot test them because it's very similar to something that people do in science. Right? It's not like you come to a scientist and say, we need a cure for cancer. Maybe we should look at X, Y, and Z. Right? No. So they first get funding to think about something, and maybe it works out, and maybe it doesn't. So I think we need to really distinguish ICO projects who have an idea, and they need money to explore if that idea is even possible or viable. Let's say reversing transactions, mempools, and all blah, 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 all that stuff. Right? Or is it just someone trying to, copy an existing business, put it on blockchain? Yeah, then I would totally agree. Yeah, make an MVP, show that it works, right, and go. So I don't think that we're at the stage where people are going to give money for ideas at the moment, right? Because it can be so VCs could do that, right? Because they think, okay, I know how it might work, I'm going to give you money. But during the ICO boom, so anyone started to believe in crypto. They didn't know anything, they didn't care if it was an idea, and non-crypto savvy people gave money. That's why there was a boom. But I think actually people who are in blockchain are pretty skeptical. They believe in maths. They believe in equations that have a end value or something. And it's just challenging to sell an idea at the moment. I agree that we need to just probably change our mindset, maybe get some money from VCs if they're listening, to explore. That would be nice.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's what should be done in universities and PhDs. I would love for us to lobby governments and universities to have more access so people can be experimenting like this, right? So they can research on infrastructure. But then for just practical projects, there's three things that are important for companies that are building companies for the market. That's revenue, and revenue, and revenue, right? So will your company make money in the future, right? So I do believe in education, and I do believe in some of these protocols are heavy on intellectually figuring out the problems that will rise for the future, and I'm sure we're going to be grateful to them in the future, right? But the VCs especially they're not scientists for the most part, usually, right? They want to return. It's not a charity, right? So they want to return their investment, and so I think while these brilliant engineers and developers should be thinking about and finding ways to explore their creativity and their future, they should, okay, if I want to make money now, and I need to analyze the market reality, right? And what can be a use case now that we can work on, get some traction, and move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the key things about knowing your customer, just coming back to that, is it's far more than just knowing who they are, their psychometrics, if you like, and understanding how they act, where they go. The most important thing is understanding what their lifetime value is. So in terms of putting a marketing and advertising and PR and owned and bought marketing strategy together, the key thing is understanding the lifetime value that each customer or partner or investor or whatever the audience is worth to the organisation, because otherwise you cannot set a marketing budget, because obviously that's when our cost per acquisition comes into place. And I think that's another key takeaway for people to consider. So just summarising, one of the things I think that you mentioned earlier in your speech, which was amazing, is how important it is for a brand, when they are doing their marketing, to lead with their sense of purpose, otherwise known as their why. And when we look at the most successful companies in the world, whether it be Google, or whether one considers them successful or not, but let's not have that debate today, whether like Uber or Google, they really are the brands that have led with their sense of purpose. So Uber obviously describes themselves as the company that is evolving the way the world moves. They're not calling themselves a taxi app. They're thinking about the whole purpose that is 100 years from now as safe as it is today. In 100 years, hopefully Uber will be taking us around in drones or however we are traveling. So they are evolving. And I think that's a really key takeaway as well for anyone in the blockchain and crypto space especially. You've got to focus on why you are doing, not what it is and how it is done, but why you are doing it. So any thoughts on that from anyone?
Yeah, absolutely. Just recently gone through the process with Meet Frank as well. I mean, it's a cool app, but a cool app only goes so far. Okay, you need developers for your blockchain project. They're on this app. So what? There's LinkedIn. There's there's the classifieds. Who cares? So then we had to kind of go back to the vision and mission. Like, why are we doing this? And it's not so that someone can look for a job, but we want to share the info in the job market. So if your only goal is to make money, then you'll probably make a very good product, but it will be mediocre. But as you said, like if you want to be Uber, what's your vision? So anything in marketing, I would advise sit together with the core team and put down in writing, what is your vision, what's your mission, why are you doing this? And then, of course, not all of the marketing materials need to say exactly that, but think like, does this work together? Like, are we still on the same path? Like, if our mission is to empower talent, and then we say, I don't know, find an employer faster, doesn't really work. And that's also a really good exercise to get to understand your values and your team more, and it kind of starts a new sort of feeling in the company as well, so that people, the team themselves, know what they're doing and why, and they will believe in it more.
Absolutely. Your internal team, your key advocates, most important advocates. Any other thoughts?
I think there's one important point also, like the values you set or the mission statement, you need to also live by. So there's a lot. So if you have a mission statement, for example, we have bringing financial inclusion to the underbanked and unbanked, you have to really believe in what you're doing and also live by it. I see a lot of ICOs, especially in 2017, 2018, they had different kind of mission statements, but then you met them and they didn't live by their mission statement. So if you actually want to build a brand and like really want to get that mission out, you need to have your whole company to live by it.
And product development, everything leads from that why.
Exactly. And it took us a while, for example, with Paxful. We've been around for 4 years, but it took us maybe 1.5 years to actually figure out like what's really important for us, like in crypto world. Like what do we want to achieve? Like it took us a while, but now we're here, and I think we have a really good mission statement and overall values in the company. And it's bringing us a lot of good also workers, which you need if you want to build a good brand. Like it starts from all within. So I really hope that you guys here, if you are doing a new ICO or whatever, mission statement and core values, like bring them up and you will succeed.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few mission statements. I used to work for the job search industry for a relatively big aggregator called Adzuna, so we developed a few interesting products there. So it's very funny, right? There are, of course, big companies that have their mission statements, and it looks like old, boring, lame thing on their website. It's especially funny when you read pharma companies, right, who say, oh, we want to make the world a better place. And then, I have a medicinal chemistry background, and I know that these companies were like super good at creating poisons, right, killing people basically. So couldn't find that on their mission statement anywhere. So yeah, shame. But anyway, I believe, of course, in branding that you need to hire the best talent, and I would say mission statement is great. But sometimes it's also important to keep your word, keep your brand promise as well, right? So it's one thing stating it, like, I don't know, Facebook. Let's try and hold them accountable for their words, right? So they want to connect people, and now they're trying to back out, like, feeling a bit of pressure in terms of Libra association, and now they're like already, okay, rolling all, is that like connection or not? So I also encourage startups to actually fulfill their brand promise.
Yeah, it goes back to what you said.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's not like
exactly.
greenwashing or anything.
It's calling
It's
that,
got to be from the heart.
Yeah, you've got to walk the talk. Doesn't work.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
But it did in 2018, right? Fake it till you make it, and then you drive a Lambo.
And where's the Lambo now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I believe in that. 'Cause I think a lot of things is we always talk about getting the money, getting the money, getting the money. What happens after? You know, I do think if you're not walking the talk and you know, you're not going to have strong people that are going to get you through after you get the seed, get the Series A, right? Get you through to building an organization if that's what you're really here to do, right? It's got to be strong, and you've got to be. I think also kind of like it can be very noisy as well as all the things you can do, the conferences you can go to. So having kind of like really having a strong mission to say, okay, well, gather everything that you're doing and it has to be pointed towards that. And then, okay, well, maybe going on the blockchain cruise is not really relevant to our project for unbanked, you know? Maybe I should stay in Africa, you know? So, I don't know if you actually went, but I'm just
No,
saying.
I didn't.
Okay.
No worries.
But I'm just saying, so gathering everything, and yeah, that's the mission, and we're gonna point everything towards that, and having very little wavering.
Yeah, I will add a bit. So, yeah, I totally agree with all of the guys speaking, and mission is extremely important, but, you know, we live in a culture, so there are some, you know, there is a culture, and people are such a strange, you know, human. They believe in some strange things, and as soon as you run a project, you have to understand that you are in some field, you are in, there is surrounding around you, and you have to interact with it. And the idea, the concept of your mission should be, you know, should be connected with it. And as I said, yeah, you should be creative. Okay.
Creative. Okay, thank you. I think we've been told to
Get off the
so we have
stage.
to get off the stage.
Off the stage,
Okay,
already.
thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, of course
questions?
you can. So where's that coming from? Oh, hello, hi. I can hear you. Affiliate programs, did you say? Sorry, we can't. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Affiliate programs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we, I don't think we neglected to talk about affiliate marketing. There's about 600 different tactics we could have talked about on the stage today. So, but let's talk.
Yeah, I mean, affiliate marketing can work really well because you don't have upfront cost. Okay, you have to promote your affiliate program, of course, so there's that, but otherwise you're only paying for results. And I've seen great results with personally promoting things via affiliate marketing and also with companies. So that's definitely one area, but you know, you have to prioritize because you can't do everything probably unless you have a company that has 500 people doing everything. But to start with, affiliate marketing could be, if you focus solely on that, that could make you. I worked with one, it was a currency exchange broker, and they solely focused their marketing on affiliate. So they gave 50% of commission away, they promoted their affiliate program, and within a year they went from nothing to a really high revenue company. So if that's what you want to start with, that's also totally okay. Just choose your sort of strategies and tactics, and there's like no point in doing everything at the same time. Focus on something.
And it also depends on the purpose as well. I mean, affiliate marketing is great for lead generation. I mean, of course, there's the brand awareness and reputation management as well, but it leads with lead generation. So sometimes reputation management through other tactics is more important.
Yeah.
Maybe you're... Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. Yeah, affiliate marketing could be really helpful for your project, but you know, you have to think about your, you know, there could be questions to why do you share so much money with affiliates if you have a good product? Because if you share 50% with an affiliate, so how can you pay so much? And what is your product then?
You're not doing the work. That's, you know, that's the point of it.
So maybe the biggest point here also that despite you have people working for you, which are the affiliates, are they bringing the right people? It all depends on your affiliate model here, Max, also. Like if you have a CPA campaign, or if you have commission-based campaign. It all depends on what you want to do, right? Like you're asking, is affiliate marketing better than SEO? In some cases, yeah, it depends on your product. In some cases, SEO is much better. But it all depends what you want to do, right? Like, and also like what kind of affiliates you want to target. Are they active ones? Are they passive ones? There's millions of them. Like, it all depends on your affiliate program also. That's my answer.
It just goes back to those questions we said right at the start, like who do you want to reach?
Yeah.
What do you want them to know, and what do you want them to do? And then what are the best channels? And maybe affiliate marketing is right, and maybe event attendance or public relations activity or email marketing is best. But you have to start with those three questions to ascertain what's right.
Yeah, I also think it's part of the product. Like if you have a physical product or let's say a SaaS product, affiliate marketing is awesome. Like it will bring you a lot of different clients, a lot of different revenue, and also awareness. But let's say you have what should I say? Brain fart. I don't know, like some other product. It's not that great, to be honest. Like sharing that profit. If your margins are little, then no. I would say affiliate marketing not for you.
Okay, I think that's it. Yes? Any more? No?
Any other questions? We're good, right?
Any more questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
One thing that I don't think you guys touched on, and I know all of the most successful advertising campaign for cryptocurrency in general is clickbait. If you can imagine what happened with the Silk Roads, I think that was the greatest PR disaster, but obviously the greatest PR that cryptocurrency ever got. And it all came through, oh my God, look what these guys are doing on the internet. So how do you embrace clickbait controversy in your campaigns? Because if you look at social media, it's divisive content and content which like gets people emotional, gets clicks and shares.
I just want to reiterate, we literally had not got the time to talk about every single tactic in detail. We're talking more generically, but yeah, does anyone want to answer that question in particular?
I mean, I don't know. I guess Bitcoin has an affiliate marketing program, unannounced, because like, so I mean, what do we do when you have McAfee screaming on the stage crazy things, or the scams, or I honestly, yeah, I think sometimes it does help in the fact that at least there's attention to it. Like, I don't know if Libra will ever happen, but if Libra happens, billions of people now know what cryptocurrency is. It's not a foreign word anymore, right? So sometimes if it's not exactly what the industry, faithful people wanted it to be, I do think, yeah, obviously sometimes we can't choose what happens, but I do think it's good to address it. I find ways to address it, especially if you're leaders, because there's this kind of hidden thing, especially with the Silk Road type thing. What is Bitcoin buying, and what are kind of the dark side of crypto? I think it's important to address it just up front as opposed to hiding it, right, or avoiding it.
Yeah, no, I'm big on your own content that's divisive. It's great. So you can have such a reach on social, for example. I'm not going to go into details. But so let's say you have two groups of people who disagree. So they tend to argue in the comments. The more people comment, the more people see your content. And then if the arguments get really big, sometimes you might end up in the press, which is, I'm not saying that you should say something racist or awful. That's absolutely none of the sort. And you should have rules for if someone starts a discussion like that, you don't want that either. But people have different opinions, and that's fine. So if you can spark up conversation on a topic where people disagree, it's great. It's free clicks.
I'll also add just a very short comment. So if you've noticed, that's something that we did with Jan unintentionally, right? When he claimed that SEO is the king, right? And then said that it's going to kill paid media, right? So definitely that tactic works, especially if you don't realize in the end that that was just a clickbait. And that's where you become creative. And I think it's a tricky question that you've asked, because everyone wants to create a viral video. Everyone wants to create a viral campaign. and people claim that they have recipes, right, for that. But usually people who have recipes have never created more than one viral campaign, which was an accident, serendipity, right? Yeah. Can I ask a quick question? No? Yes? No? No? Is it okay? So, yeah, good. I understand that there are quite a few people from crypto industry here and have companies, and maybe I'd like to ask Jan, so how do you hire marketeers? So, I mean, Estonia is...
Can I just pause me 1 second? Can I just check that we are on, because we're running over, aren't we, quite badly, I think? Sorry, just pause.
No, I'm not sure it's working. Yeah, basically we not are running out of time, we ran out of time, and the lunch is supposed to be over in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe off the table. Not fine.
Yes, so,
Sorry.
yeah,
I think
anyone who wants to learn how to,
I can answer that though.
marketeers?
Like,
Yes.
Yeah. So,
like 30 seconds.
yeah, 30 seconds.
Go.
I don't look for people that graduated. I don't look what education you have. I look for more what job experience you have, and also if we have a live interview, I will ask some basic questions about marketing, but overall about your creativity. And usually, and nowadays especially, you can learn a lot about online marketing through internet, through YouTube. Like I have no education from marketing before. Like I did 12 years of consulting, but I learned everything through online, doing myself. So I respect a lot of people that done it by themselves. Being an entrepreneur helps a lot, and especially if you have the drive to learn.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you.